A few years ago, you might remember there was this spazzy guy, this spazzy, um, very effeminate guy who became a meme by shouting and screaming, "Leave Britney alone! Leave Britney alone! I'm serious!" And people laughed at him, and I laughed at him. Um, but he was right. Um, Everything that's coming out now, if you've been paying any attention, and I don't usually pay. I mean, I'd rather pay attention to entertainment news than to politics. So, you know, hold that against me if you want. But the story of Britney Spears speaking out uh, concerning what's been called her conservatorship that she's been living under, I guess, for almost 15 years now, and it's really, really something. It's startling, um, the degree to which they've essentially, you know, rendered her a slave. Um, According to her testimony, which I will link here, the way that she's been living has has been such that she can't really do much of anything on her own without getting someone's permission. She's forced to see doctors and psychiatrists. She's forced to take the medicine that they give her. She's forced to uh, change, her clothes in front of other people. There's no privacy in her life at all. She's forced to go on tour when they tell her to go on tour, even if she doesn't feel like she's up to it. Um, and all of this was done ostensibly on the or due to the fact that she was ostensibly, not of sound mind, which she probably wasn't. She probably hasn't been of sound mind for a while, but I wonder why. You know, I doubt that she if she hadn't become a pop star and if she hadn't, um, at a very young age, when she was quite naive, probably, and had such power and money hungry parents, and had people surrounding her, handlers surrounding her, doing things to her, who knows what, subjecting her to things, again, who knows what. One of the things that she mentioned was having to give out 8 vials of blood a day. I think she said a day. Why is she giving out that much of her blood? Is a question that comes to mind. Is somebody is her blood being used uh, in some way? I mean, I'm chuckling, but it is something that has come to light recently, and it was even on that show Silicon Valley, which I didn't watch very much, but the Mike Judge directed show. Mike Judge, the one who did Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill, who's kind of a sort of an outsider, sort of a semi-conservative figure in the entertainment industry. As conservative as one can possibly get, I guess, without being Mel Gibson. Known for his scathing takes on the Hollywood elite and the liberal elites and so forth. But it was shown that was part of that show, that a young character, was giving blood, and some Silicon Valley mogul, was getting infused with his youthful blood. And I think it came out a few years ago that that's happening. Young people's blood is being used by elderly or semi-elderly elites in order to revitalize themselves. And of course, there are all those whispered stories of adrenochrome, which I won't go into here. Uh, but that's all related. All this stuff about all this fascination with blood sacrifices, all of the sick things that the elites do. The so-called elites, they consider themselves the elites. I don't think of them as elite in any way. But in any case, um, so even if you watch the Britney Spears testimony that she gave a few days ago, and even if you take a very conservative view of it all, a non-expansive view of it all, even if you think, everything that we're hearing is right here, and there's nothing that she's not saying about what's being done to her. There's no weird deprogramming MK Ultra type stuff going on, which I strongly suspect. I have suspected it before. If you watch prior interviews with her, where she seems addled or where she seems to suddenly shift into another persona, I believe they've been doing all kinds of crazy, awful things to her. And she's probably not alone. I mean, she's probably one of many. She's getting milked as a cash cow. Of course, that's all a part of it. But it seems that a large part of it is just the dehumanization agenda of those who run the entertainment industry. And how, you kind of sign your name in blood and you become their slave, and there's sort of this extra legal aspect to high-powered people in the entertainment industry, people like Geffen and others, who've probably done all sorts of dreadful things and will likely never face any kind of justice for their foul deeds. So, anyhow, I think that I want to, even though I still think it's funny as a meme and everything, I think that a lot of us owe that swishy, spazzy guy, an apology, because we thought he was just sort of this goofy, overly emotional, character. But he was telling the truth. He knew what was going on with Britney Spears and with others, and he sympathized properly. And I remember, it makes me feel a little bit guilty, because I remember, like back around the turn of the long ago, back around the turn of the century, the turn of the millennium. I remember there being all these jokes about Dana Plato, the girl who was on Different Strokes, the white girl, I guess Mr. Drummond's actual daughter, though I don't know. She was a little young and he was a little old, but maybe that was supposed to be the case. And all of the things that she was doing, and she eventually OD'd, I think died of an overdose or in some similar kind of way. And it was all just sort of thought to be a joke, like, these the excess of these Hollywood people, these people who are on TV shows or who are music stars and so forth, and the onus is put on them, when in fact a lot of these people, especially when they're in the industry from a very young age, I think get abused almost immediately. It's like the abuse is their initiation, into success. It really does seem that way. I can't help but watch any television show or any movie which features child actors. I try not to think about, who's doing what to them, what kind of things are they being forced to endure. So Britney Spears is just the very tip of, and what is now becoming visible with her in her testimony, in the things that she's claiming that nobody is disputing, by the way. Nobody has said that she's lying. even the people that she's speaking out against, the people who are in charge of her conservatorship, none of them are saying that she's making anything up. So anyhow, if you haven't seen it yet, it's worth watching, I believe. I will link the testimony that she gave a few days ago. So yes, indeed, leave Britney alone. Leave kids alone. Leave. Let kids have their innocence. Don't snatch it away from them. Don't. I mean, I don't know. These kinds of pleas fall on deaf ears because I think these people are evil who enjoy doing these kinds of things. So it's not like they have a conscience to appeal to. But I guess my appeal would be to anybody with a son or daughter who's tempted to try to get them involved in showbiz. And my word to them would be, don't. Stay the hell away from showbiz. Think of Brad Renfro. Think of Jake Lloyd, the kid who played Anakin Skywalker in the first prequel movie. Todd Bridges, also from Different Strokes. The list goes on and on and on. So leave Britney alone. Leave them all alone. Let Britney's tragic example be a lesson. Is what I would say. I hope somebody's listening. Thanks for watching. My name's Andy Nowicki. Please check out my work at altrightnovelist.com.